Kim here from JustAskKim.com with day 4 of the Think to Succeed video challenge. Now, if you haven't already jumped in with us, I hope you will. You can find the link either above if you're on Facebook or below if you're on YouTube, and jump in and take part. It's a really interesting delve into personal development kind of topics that really make you think them through and challenge you to give some answers. A lot of fun. Invite you to join us. So be sure to click that link and check it out. Today is technically a free day, which means I get to come up with whatever I want to shoot on video. And I thought I would take today and discuss something that I've discussed before, but not really in depth. And that is why I am not actually a fan of the power of now. Now, people in the esoteric and metaphysical realms, and a lot of personal development people, they're like, focus on the now, power of now, you're not living in the now. And in fact, people go on to say that if you've got depression, you're living in the past, and if you've got anxiety, you're living in the future. Well, let me correct that. First of all, both of those can be very, very biochemical. If the chemicals in your body are messed up, both of those can be right here and now, just as here and now is here and now. And it hasn't got anything to do with where your mind is focused. In fact, it may or may not even drag your conscious thoughts or your subconscious thoughts into those aspects, because a little bit of chemistry can change those around. But the reality of the situation is that if we excuse that, if we put the biomedical stuff aside, that it is very, very possible to be in the now and be depressed, because what we're looking at right now, what is right in front of us, this thing right now, can be really, really craptastic. Things can be really, really bad, and they can. We may not have the coping mechanism at the moment to deal with them, and we may not know how to deal with them, and we may feel defeated at it at the moment and feel depressed in the moment. It doesn't necessarily mean the past. And we may have anxiety because the thing we're looking at feels insurmountable. We've got a Grand Canyon to jump over. We're standing here on the edge of the Grand Canyon and panicking. You know, sometimes that happens right here in the here and now too. And that is definitely right here in front of you. Those don't have to be far-reaching things. And for me, because I grew up with major medical situations and with a very, very real likelihood of death at any random time due to having an aneurysm on my brain, or a potential aneurysm. I actually have an aneurysm, we'll keep it that way. But due to having this aneurysm site, they call this, on my brain, and having grown up with the reality that any moment could be the last moment, that anything could be it. One, not only do I not have a real attachment to staying here on this earth plane, but two, I lack an ease of thinking forward. For me, doing things like planning even next week, 2 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where do I want to be when I retire? Those things are foreign ideas. Those things are really hard for me to wrap my mind around. And I am unfortunately too much here at times. Now, I can get either direction. Yes, I can get into the past. I can get into the present. I can stress over the past and stress over the present. I can do those these days. But some of that has been learned. Some of that has been having to learn how to forward project and how to look for that forward timeline and how to consider not only what do I want there, but that I'm going to be there. Because when you've lived in the now so long, it often gets very hard to set these goals. And what I've found is that when looking around at people, there are actually many people that have trouble living in towards the future. They have trouble wrapping their mind around it. They have trouble seeing it. And sometimes these are the same people that we look at as impulsive, that we look at as not considering their actions, and that we look at that are very, very pleasure driven right now, that they can't future plan, that they can't do delayed gratification, that they can't do those kind of things, and may even do very, very wrong things, abuse, theft, things like that, because they can't see the forward impact. It just doesn't exist for them. And so while I appreciate the now, I also appreciate that we were given, or that we chose, the ability to exist in this linear timeline where we're aware of the past, aware of where we are now, and aware of where we're going, that we're aware of all three of these parts, because together, these work together to let us know where we came from and not to make those mistakes again, and the lessons we learned, and to be in the here and now, and to appreciate the beauty in front of us, and the things that are going right now, and to set those goals and set that pathway for where we're going point and where we want to be in the future. And these three things work together in harmony. So it's really not just about the now. It's not just about living here, because if you live here, you're not going to have your focus on the things that are yet to come. And all three of these play a critical role. And so if you ever hear me poo-poo on the idea of the here and now, the power of now kind of theory, this is why, because this is the role that it plays in my life, and the role that I've had to relearn part of these due to having grown up under a very different dynamic. And so that's where I come from with that. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Do you live in the power of now? Do you try to live in now? Do you live in the future? Do you forward plan? Do you have goals and objectives and timelines and things that you want to hit? Have you learned from lessons in your past? Let me know in the comments below.